time in the 2020s, two geeks from across social media formed an alliance to bring you geek news from across the Nostalgiaverse. They are Jacob's Toys and SuperSorrell. So strap yourselves in for the weekly live show that brings you toy news, TV and movie reviews, special guests, opinions, tangents, and bad impressions. Reveals, releases, thoughts, and maybe dreams. So prepare yourselves for the Geek Week in Review. Live.
I think we're live. How is everyone doing? Episode 131 of the Geek Week in Review. With me, Jacob's Toys, and of course the wonderful one and only SuperSorrell. This is our big Christmas show. This is our third big Christmas show.
This is our third?
Our third Christmas. We are going live on a Saturday instead of a Sunday. Usually we go live on a Sunday at this time. But because it's Christmas Eve tomorrow, we thought we would jump ahead a day and, do it earlier. I've got to say, we're going out on Instagram tonight as well for the first time ever. So the live stream is going out on my Instagram account tonight for the first time ever. If you're watching over on Instagram, hello, welcome. This is the Geek Week. We tend to usually go out on YouTube, but we thought we'd test it out and see what it's like over on Instagram. There's a little bit of a catch, shall we say. So Instagram only allow an hour, and we usually do just over. So it might just shut off on Instagram. But if you are watching over there, check out links in the bio and either on mine or SuperSorrell's, and you can catch the end of the show. Other thing that's a bit of a catch as well is that anyone that comments on Instagram doesn't come up in the chat here where we are. So we're kind of looking at two. So we'll try to keep our eyes on all the comments everywhere as we go. But yeah, how are you, Sorrell? Anyway, how's your Christmas week?
Good man. Good. I'm all ready for tomorrow. We're going to Sundown Adventureland in the morning, which is like a little theme park near me. We're going to go see Santa. They have like the night before Christmas ride, and it's like a dark ride, and you go through all the like Christmassy scenes. Then at the end, the ride vehicle pulls up outside Santa's house.
Nice.
And you get out and knock on the door and get greeted by Santa and all that. So it's a really cool little thing for kids. But it's probably going to be Paige's last year doing it because this theme park's of like under 10s kind of thing, and she's going to be 9 soon. So
wow,
she's not going to be doing it for much longer. So it's probably going to be the last year doing it, which is quite sad.
Wow. We went for lunch with Santa
Nice.
yesterday, which is really cool. It's a garden centre not too far from us, and they do like a lunch with Santa thing, and you get these kind of, do you remember in lockdown when restaurants and that came up with like the pod idea, and they all built like wooden pods that kind of kept you isolated and everything? Well, they do that still. So they have these pods and they're all heated and everything like that, and they're really, really cool, and the food there is mammoth, like absolutely mammoth. And then while you're eating, Santa comes around and kind of sits down with you and has a chat and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. And it's been the same Santa, obviously, because Santa Claus is real. But it's been the same Santa every year we've been doing it, and we must have been doing it for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years now. So It's been really, it's really, really cool. How are you doing with your with your rap with your rap career, with your rapping? How are you getting on?
Out tomorrow. My rapping, all done. I'm well organized this year. I'm done.
Yeah.
I work from home. I'm quite lucky that I don't have to leave the house at all during the week. So I just rap in between what I'm doing.
Nice.
I'm
I'm spiked up on energy drinks because my wife she's just had an operation, so she can't do much. So I've got all the piles, and I need to work through the night, just kind of getting it wrapped. So I'm going to be rapping into the early hours. So for anyone that's regular to the show, let's give a couple of shout outs quickly. Shelley's in the chat. Hello, Shelley. Santa Sorrell and Jingle Jangle Jake. Not our official names, but no, Santa Sorrell is something you've used before, isn't it? But
I do use Santa Sorrell, yeah. It's my go-to.
I don't know if Jingle Jangle Jacob's gonna gonna catch on.
Oh, it's gonna stick from now on because I'm gonna make it stick.
Yeah, very good stuff.
And the Sorrel and Jingle Jangle Jacob.
Jingle Jangle Jacob. I sound like a really bad backup dancer. Andy Roberts in the chat as well. Happy Christmas, Jacob and SuperSorrell, and everyone in the chat, and 2 little Christmas trees. That's really cool. And someone, Finley Roxabar, is just singing a song in the chat there as well. That's cool. That's cool. Couple of people in the chat on Instagram as well, which is cool. Watching on YouTube and on Instagram. Mayor Tox 1 has asked if we've got a rap channel. We don't. I don't think it would be very successful. It's not unheard of for people to dabble in music, but it's not my thing at all. This is obviously our Christmas show. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk Christmas. We're going to talk Christmas movies. We're going to talk Christmas memories, toys and things that we got as a kid and all that kind of stuff, and kind of take a little bit of a trip down memory lane in regards to some of the big toys when we were growing up and when we were kind of like younger, should we say. But there are a couple of things I think we need to just touch. Jacob clearly forgot to don his elf costume. Sorry, you know what? I should have got one. I should have got one to support Sorrels. But before we do kind of get into the Christmas stuff, there are a couple of things that I think we need to just mention this week that's happened. The first one, of course, is a huge announcement in the MCU in regards to Kang the Conqueror. Major's obviously been charged as guilty. So regardless of the person, the case, and all that kind of stuff, regarding the MCU, it's massive because what's going to go on with Kang? You know, are they going to recast? Are they going to kind of just drop the storyline? But it's it's a.
Have you seen the rumors doing the rounds at the minute about who could take over the role?
Oh, there's a couple of really bizarre ones.
John Boyega's the one that I've seen quite on a lot of different stations. Obviously, he's under contract with Disney from Star Wars. So
his relationship with Disney is not a good one, though, is it? He's not going to jump into a whole another thing. I think they're just going to drop it. I think they're going to drop the Kang storyline, and I think it's just going to end with Loki season 2, and they'll pick it up at some point further down the line.
People are kind of tired of the whole multiverse thing anyway, so I can see them dropping it in favor of jumping into Fantastic Four and X-Men now and just bringing that forward a stage.
It didn't really take off, did it? It didn't really work. Like, people didn't get behind it the same way. I think
after the hype, well, I think if we'd have, sorry, I've said this a couple of times, but I think if they'd have waited on that Spider-Man movie, if we'd have had Multiverse of Madness first, then a couple of other movies where they kind of touch on the idea of crossovers, then giving us that massive Spider-Man film, I think it would have worked out better as that being the climax, and whatever Spider-Man does and Doctor Strange does sends all the other things back to their own universes, and that closes it all off. That would have been a nice ending. Whereas now it feels a little bit, it's all the timelines have merged, everything's crossed, and it's a bit weird now. There's no end in sight.
I totally agree. The other massive thing as well, the other 2 kind of big things that have happened this week. What If is back on our channels. We're back on the Disney Channel. Have you caught any of it yet?
No, I'm gonna wait till it's all on in one go and then just binge watch the whole session, I think.
Yeah, I watched the first one on the first day, which is Nebula joining the Nova Corps, which is quite cool. Yeah. There's a lot of people, a lot of like Jude Law's in it and all the rest of it. So there's quite a few people that pop up. But I haven't caught the other ones yet. Because Rebel Moon also landed on Netflix on Friday.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. Is it any good?
Yeah. It's, you know what? I went into it really skeptical because everyone was kind of like, oh, it's the Zack Snyder Star Wars. Like, you know, I'm going to make my own Star Wars and the rest of it. But it's not. It's a totally different kettle of fish. Yes, it's a film based in space, in futuristic space. But it's not Star Wars. It's totally different. It's totally different. But it's about 2.5 hours long. That first, because there's 2 parts. Second part's coming in April. And it's about 2.5 hours long, but it's good. That is a good watch. Definitely recommend giving it a try. definitely recommend giving it a try.
Cool. I've seen all the merch and stuff dropping, and I've seen all the stuff in HMV t-shirts and everything have been dropping left, right, and center. And there's been a lot of merch early on for this one.
Yeah, I don't think they need to push it hard. Like they don't need to try to like compete with Star Wars and things like that. They kind of need to kind of tune it. You know what I mean? As in, just let it be its own thing.
Is it based on a comic book or something? Is it a graphic novel or something? Or is it just his own work?
Yeah, I think it's just literally his own, like Zack Snyder's kind of own thing. But there's some wicked characters in it. There's some really cool characters in it. There's like one alien. There's no spoilers here, but there's one alien, and she's like half spider, half like humanoid kind of thing. And it's just the fight scenes are fantastic. It's got a real kind of 300 kind of look to it, like with the kind of almost like the painted looking set pieces and stuff. It's just a really good film. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, that's all the kind of stuff that really happened this week, wasn't it? It wasn't anything else.
Yeah, there's been a few bits here and there, but nothing major. It's Christmas week, so everyone's off now for work. All the offices are shut, and everyone's kind of like wrapped up for the Christmas season now.
Yeah. When do you stop going to the shops? When do you kind of go, no, that's it, I'm done, I'm staying away?
I went today. Today was my last day. I went to B&M.
Yeah, I went today as well.
I'll be it now. I sometimes go out Boxing Day. It just depends. It depends. If I see that Smiths have got a massive sale on, I might just go for giggles. Yeah. Usually I go to do a video more than anything. I will go just because I want to make a video on Boxing Day. I want to do something with my day off.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of do that. But no, I'm probably not going to. I might not bother this year because I've got a lot of stuff behind me, and I've got a lot of stuff that I've got a wave of things that dropped to show in a minute, and then I've got my Christmas present dropping tomorrow to me from me, which I'm really looking forward to. I always get a to me from me present.
Nice. It's an interesting one because like as collectors. And this is something I'd put out to people in the chat, to people watching on replay and everything like that. But as collectors, do you tend to get presents around Christmas or birthdays or anything like that kind of fit in with your collection? Like, do your friends and family buy stuff that go with it? Because...
Yeah, my wife will ask me like what I want basically, and she'll go out and find the things I want. Or she'll say like I remember early on this year she said, don't buy any of the Nightmare Before Christmas 30th anniversary merch. And I've bought a few bits and she's like, stop buying things. Because I know she's bought me that for Christmas, basically.
Yeah. See, so, I don't get anything that goes in with my... No.
It's like my mum and that. My mum still buys me presents this day. And she will always get me some form of action figure, always. It might not be one that I want, but she'll get me one. It'll be something toy related.
Yeah. I just don't. Tell a lie. Last year I did get like the Marvel like graphic like design book that they released. Like, did you see that one? So I got that last year, and I did put down on my list the Last Ronin hardback this year, just because I only read it digitally. I've not read it as a comic, so I was kind of like, you know what, actually, for the sake of 20 quid, like that's something you can get me. So
over the years, we've done like. Yeah, over the years, me and my wife and my brother, because my brother collects as well, he gets all the like Dragon Ball Z stuff. We used to do Amazon wish lists and then just send them to each other. That was always the easiest way. And then obviously on Amazon around this time of year, there's always the sales on. So I used to always like stock up on the Black Series all Legends that I've missed that are now on discount. And that's how I used to like sort of mop up at the end of the year. Was like my brother would spend like 30 quid on like 2 or 3 action figures that I needed. My wife would do the same, and I'd end up with like a little wave of 6 for Christmas.
I think my mentality with it is very much that because certain things cost a certain amount of money, and because certain things are not harder to get, but there's a lot of variety. Like if you said get me a Wolverine figure, like there's there's so many mistakes that could be made. I just thought I don't want to deal with the whole. Oh yeah, that's great, thanks. Like I'm putting them on myself with the other 17 of them that I've got. So I've never really kind of made that a thing. But no, maybe I should. Maybe I'm missing a trick. Maybe I'm missing a trick there. But yeah, it's funny though, isn't it? Because some people like, they get, you see at this time of year on like the community groups on Facebook and stuff like that. Like, my Christmas haul or my birthday haul or whatever it is, and they've got all of these kind of figures and stuff. But yeah, I've just never been one to.
I think as well, it's becoming more and more mainstream now. Whereas, like, what 5-6 years ago, collecting figures was like a "why are you doing that, you weirdo" kind of thing. You're 30, grow up. But now it's kind of a bit more accepted. It's like gaming over the years. Gaming slowly went from being the nerd thing to being mainstream. So things slowly come into the front, don't they? And I think toy collecting and action figures has become such a big deal now that everyone just collects them. Or like even people that don't collect will buy them, kind of thing. Have them on a shelf somewhere.
I'm trying to rack my brains now, and I think the last time I was bought something like collector wise was when I was collecting the original He-Man figures, and I was recollecting the whole kind of set. And I picked up a few things. Got like Snake Mountain. I got what was the pit with the little rubber snake puppet? Do you remember that one? That it was like the pit, and there was the slime cage. I can't remember the official names of them all. But I'd picked a handful of them up off of eBay, and people were asking what to get me, and I was like, you know what, I've got these. I'm not in any rush to kind of open it, so put that away and give me that for my birthday or Christmas, or whatever it was at the time. But no, I'm not really a big one for getting presents off people that go into my collection.
Well, as well, I think some people as well, the wives and partners, don't like them collecting, or they do that thing of, can you send me a gift certificate so it looks like I won them in a raffle and all that crap. You see that right, quite regular groups. I think some people don't involve the partner in what they do. So I think then people are obviously going to get figures for Christmas, either they're going to kind of like hide them away.
Do you think that's because of the price of things, or do you think that's because of the kind of the stigma that goes with it?
Probably a bit of both.
You reckon? See, my wife was doomed, really. When we first met, I had my toilet, like in my house, I had redecorated, because I was like, I'm on my own, I'll do what I want. Like, no one, who's going to tell me no? And I had wallpapered the entire toilet with comic books. So I'd got old comic books, like the ones that you get from like Smiths and stuff like that, that weren't worth anything. Cut them out as individual pages, stuck them on the wall, and then wallpaper pasted over them, so they were like attached on the wall. And then I had probably about 100 of those Eagle Moss figures. Do you remember those? And I had them all arranged in like teams and stuff, like in the toilet. So when she first came to my house, I was like, where's the bathroom? I was like, oh, it's upstairs on the left. Just before you go in there, though, there's something I need to tell you. So I've never really hidden it from my missus. Like, I mean, it's a bit difficult. Like, I don't know how you would do that, but yeah, it does surprise me when you see that kind of on the groups, and you have people that kind of really do hide it from their other halves.
So Lynn's always been massively into Disney. And she had a small collection of Disney things when she first met me, and then I've just egged her on over the years. And it was always a case of we've always had that deal of, as long as we've never getting any form of financial debt from doing it, and as long as like it's things that you want, you're not just doing it to chase the FOMO. So we've kind of always had a little agreement that as long as it's things you want, don't worry about it. Just do it. If you can afford it, do it. So that's kind of how we've always been. We've never run into any trouble with it. We don't hide it from each other. So, and over the years, she was the one that she agreed with me. A little while ago, when I sort of said Hasbro's fatiguing me, I need to stop with the Hasbro. And then I kind of moved away from Hasbro products and then put my money into higher end stuff like Super 7 and things. She agreed with me. She was like fully on board. Like, do it, because it's just at the minute the house was just full of Hasbro boxes and Hasbro everything. They're like, there are other toys out there. So we kind of moved on together from it, and like she's ended up she loves all the the Disney Super 7s. We collect them together now, which is kind of cool. We've got a shelf in the living room with all them on. Nice. We've got like the whole wave now, the whole line. So it's cool that we've got things to collect together. And like I said before, I collect the Monsters High dolls and the Living Dead dolls with Paige, my daughter. She loves the Monster High stuff, so we collect them together. So I've kind of involved my entire family in what I do.
Yeah, mine's kind of bled out. I mean, my missus, like, she always like winds me up, and she takes the mick out of me for what I do and stuff. But whenever we have people over for dinner or something, she always goes like, go and show me your room. Like, and then I come out with like a Mandalorian helmet on and a lightsaber. Come into the den, like, But yeah, so it's all cool. It's all cool. I just don't get the hiding it. I really don't.
Yeah. This will make you laugh. My room where I am is straight onto the main road now. I'm literally straight onto the main road. And I have the windows open to the curtains and blinds open during the day to get as much light in here as possible to film.
Yeah.
And this morning I was filming my top 10 action figures of 2023 kind of thing. And I had the window open a little bit, and the posties just stood outside the window, just watching me with the mail in his hand. And he like posting through the little window crack, and he's just stood there watching me talk to myself.
Getting
And then when I sort of stopped. He went, "Don't stop on my account, mate. Keep going." And he's just stood there watching me. Like, this is weird.
That's awesome. Like, just getting a live viewing, live in person viewing.
I've never seen him before, but the postie I normally have is a young lass, and she's so used to me now. She just literally, she just brings all the boxes to the door, like, and she'll have like a stack of things from like props and replicas, comics and cocktails.
Yeah,
and she just knocks on the door and just shouts, "Your toys are here." She knows full well what they are.
Yeah, my posties are the same. That's the other thing as well, like hiding it from your other half. Like, how do you get stuff in the house? Like, how do people do it? If people have a certain way of doing it, I'd love to hear. But yeah, I get deliveries and stuff, and like, I'll get photos of one of my children stood next to a box or leaning against the, this is from Hasbro, this Diamond Selector bin or anything like that. Shelley from the chat, let's see if it comes up. I don't get action figures from anyone at Xmas, so I get them, wrap them up, and gift them to myself from my pets. That's a pretty cool way of doing it, I guess. That is definitely a good way of doing it.
Yeah, I've done that. I always do that every year. I buy one present, like something that I wouldn't normally buy. I say that I wouldn't buy myself. I would buy myself, but something that's like I've wanted that I've not picked up this year that I kind of want as an end of year kind of big thing.
Yeah.
And this year I've gone for the Maestro Union Furry Planet Master Weng. Like the wolf that I got.
Mm-hmm.
This is the big tiger with the big hat on and stuff from Chinese looking tiger. I've picked up that bad boy for like 80 quid off Amazon. Nice. And he arrives tomorrow, and I just can't wait for him to arrive because he looks so awesome.
You know what? I got 2 parcels delivered today, and I'll crack them open while I'm here because why not? But I was really shocked because I wasn't expecting anything to land this side of Christmas. So when they arrived, I was like, they can be my Christmas presents to myself. The first one, look, two parcels. The first one, I've got to give a shout out. So a lot of people from like the Legends groups and that will recognize these, but there's a guy out there, Crafty Gecko, that does like 3D sculpts and everything like that. And it is all 3 Spider-Man.
Nice.
Holding the masks. So
the masks.
For the unmasked figures that we've now got the hand holding a mask, which is cool. So it's kind of like a little thing that Hasbro should have given us that they didn't. So I'll paint them up over Christmas and have a bit of play with them and do some pictures and videos and stuff like that. So that was the first one. I was really pleased that turned up. I kind of knew that was coming though. The second one I'm quite excited about. So obviously I've been getting into like 1/6 scale figures recently. I say recently, it's kind of my new addiction. And most recently picked up the Alien Symbiote figure. It's such a cool figure. It's basically Venom from Spider-Man 3, but it's done by a company called Thunder Toys, and they're nowhere near as expensive as Hot Toys. So the guy that sorted me out with that one said, I've also got this one. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, send that over. Let's have a look at it. And it arrived today, much to my surprise. So having a look at it for the first time, right? Here we go. Hope it's in the box. It could just be a pair of socks. Any ideas? It's not Carnage.
Not Carnage.
No. Bearing in mind that the other one is Venom from Spider-Man 3.
Oh, right. Okay. So is it Venom from the Venom movie then or something?
No. It's on the Spider-Man 3 theme.
All right.
It's a bit closer.
I don't know.
It is. This is the big reveal. Let's make sure I've got it out the right way. Yes, I have. It is.
Ooh, black suit Spider.
Black suit Spider-Man. So yeah, but as you can see, I mean, like Thunder Toys, for anyone that's interested, they're really cool. Haven't really looked at this one yet, but yeah, there we go.
That is very cool.
But it's funny because it feels like it's got like a really rubbery feel to the suit. But yeah, it's cool. It doesn't really come with much accessories. Comes with a base. Comes with a little bit of like symbiote thing and some alternate hands and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So that will go nicely with my other Spider-Man. And put him back in the box so I can do a video on him. But I guess that would be my Christmas present to myself because it arrived before Christmas. So why not?
That's cool. I was thinking this. I was sat looking at my collection, and I've kind of been like going over. You do that thing of what am I going to get next year? What am I going to collect next?
Yeah.
And so I've been sort of like looking into things, and I've been really enjoying getting a lot of the third party stuff. I'm not going to lie. I've been really enjoying getting. No, it's not even third parties. It's like independent toy dealers, should we call them?
Yeah.
Independent toy manufacturers. And I've been really enjoying some of their stuff. And there's so much of the new like Beast Kingdom has got an array of Disney stuff next year that looks amazing. Then we've got the executive replicas. They're making a bunch of things like the Rocketeer. I'd really like to get my hands on that. But then there's like loads of cool, like those dinosaur figures that we looked at together a while back. That Sorzoic or something. The ones that are in. No, the ones that are with props and replica right now. They've already got
like the Poundland dinosaur He-Man figures. Yeah, they look really cool.
So like there's them, and then there's them ones that are like the monkeys and stuff that'll kind of fit in with that new Master Wang I'm getting, that big tiger. And they're cool to have like the little gibbon monkey and some of the other ones to go with him. And
that would be
you know what I mean? So I'm thinking about like going more like doing that stuff next year. Really am.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
But today I've got to show you what arrived. Well, yes, a couple of days ago, about 2 days ago now. But and this is really cool because it ties in with a good Christmas story that I want to tell you. But the Batman and Robin wave.
What is in the
George Clooney Batman, Robin. That's Batgirl. That's Batgirl.
I was gonna say that's a different film.
That's Batgirl, and we got Robin. But mate, my personal favorite in this wave has to be Poison Ivy. And I weren't expecting it to be my favorite, but that actually looks like Uma Thurman. It's scary. The costume is so accurate.
That is cool.
It's textured as well, like the body part, the dress bit's like really textured and stuff. It looks really cool. So yeah, and I was sat watching the film when these arrived. I'm like, I need to watch the film while I'm playing with these. So I put film on. I was like, I remember when that came out on VHS when I was a kid. It was around Christmas time, and my mum and dad bought me like every toy from that toy range for that Christmas as a kid.
Yeah,
and it's cool that it's like come back around and it's Christmas time again, and I've got the same figures but in like adult collector format now from when I was like 8, 9. Yeah. It's funny how things come back around.
Oh, massively. They go full circle. They go a whole full circle. I must admit that's the one wave that's kind of enticing me over to the McFarlane stuff just because of the nostalgic element of it. It's similar to these Thunder toys. Like Spider-Man 3 was not the most well-received Spider-Man film out of the three of them, but to have that version of Venom and to have that version of Black Suit, I was kind of like, I can't say no. Like,
the thing is, as a kid, I've said this before, as a kid, you didn't see it. Like, as an adult, you see it as, oh my God, this is so bad, this movie's so shit. But as a kid, it weren't, were it? As a kid, that was just Batman.
Yeah.
It was just Spider-Man. You were just happy to finally have that representation of Mr. Freeze on the big screen.
Yeah. For me as well, like, you look how quickly they were recast. So they had like, what, 4 Batman? Four Batman? Yeah,
well, I used to look at it as like James Bond, you know what I mean? It was like they just replace the actor every now and again, and this happens. It's a film.
Yeah, but they had loads. That you know, with it being recast, it never bothered me at all. Never phased me. It was never kind of like, oh, I'm giving up on this. It was Batman, and obviously at the time that was the big superhero representation on screen. There wasn't really the representation for other superheroes in the way that we've got it now, whereas now there's, you know, we're so spoiled for choice, really. I say it all the time, but like the fact that we've got a whole Disney Plus, like funded by Disney, Moon Knight series blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind, because it's one of them characters that I never expected to see on screen.
Yeah, I totally get it. And as well, it was like, I remember because like I grew up watching the original 1966 Batman. So to me, Batman was always campy and fun. It was never the dark, serious, brooding Batman. I didn't understand that side of it until I was in my teenage years and I was reading the comics properly. As a kid, I always read the comics my parents would buy me would be the animated Adventures Batman comics because they were obviously based on the cartoon.
Yeah.
And the cartoon was quite, it had its dark moments, but it was still quite campy. So, I mean, I grew up with thinking that was Batman. It wasn't like an older that I read how dark and twisted those stories can be sometimes.
Yeah.
And
I always saw Batman as quite comical. It was only with the Christian Bale stuff where it kind of went dark.
Yeah.
It was always, and that's why I think I enjoyed those films for what they are. And it's easy to kind of look back at it now and kind of look at Jim Carrey and Arnold Schwarzenegger and even Tommy
Lee Jones.
That's it. I was going to say Tommy Lee, but that's a completely different person. But yeah, Tommy Lee Jones, you look back at their performances now and they are a bit tongue in cheek and they are a bit kind of comical, but that was kind of what Batman was at the time. So I loved it. I had loads of Batman figures growing up as Christmas presents. I'm trying to think now, like the actual Batmobile, like the Batmobile from the first just Batman film, and it had those little kind of flick up missiles on the like headlights, I suppose. That I just remember having that all the time, and all the different types of Batman, like Scuba Batman and like Night Vision Batman, and Batman with a jetpack and Batman with a grappling gun, and absolutely loved it. But yeah, now the adult collectors all complain because we get more than one Wolverine released.
It's a weird one. I used to love all the Elseworlds Batman toys as a kid as well. Like I had like the Viking Batman, and I had like Two-Face as a pirate with he had like a big sword on his hand that twisted around and stuff. I loved all them. And then I had like a big scarecrow that you could pull apart and he just span round. Don't know what that were about, but I loved him. One of my favorite figures.
I love those storylines. Like in Marvel, you've got the 1602 storyline, and they're actually touching on that in, I think it's the 29th of December. It's the episode that goes out on the 29th. I'm really excited to see what they do with it because it was a really interesting comic book read. It was very bizarre, and there was also a manga-verse Spider-Man as well, and I had that full run of comic books because it was just like I like these stories where they kind of put them in somewhere completely different and give you something completely different. When you were a kid, did you used to like look for your Christmas presents, or did you just wait for the surprise?
No, I never really looked. It wasn't until I was like a lot older that I started trying to find things. But no, when I was younger, I never bothered looking.
See, I just must have had this really OCD personality because I would always go hunting for my Christmas presents, and 9 out of 10 times I would find them. Like, no wonder my parents hated me as a kid, but I always went out and looked for them. And I have this vivid memory of going under my mum and dad's bed and finding a Sting action figure. And this was back in the WCW days with the blue pants and the bleach blonde hair, and it was that figure that's just like in this static pose. But it was just, and I remember finding it, and the sheer like joy of knowing that this figure was under their bed for me for Christmas, like it was unmatched. But then my parents walked in and found me looking for him, and boom, it was gone. All of a sudden, it became really not a very fond memory at all. But yeah, I just remember the excitement of finding that figure and not even knowing that I wanted it as much as I did until I saw it. If that makes sense.
I would love to go back in time and get back all my WWE wrestling figures, because I had, as a kid, I had like the mat, the ring, the barriers that went around the outside, the commentary table. I even had JR and King, and I had the Titantron with the ramp and the backstage brawl area. I did all. I was all Mattel out. But I used to have all the WCW wrestlers, WWE wrestlers, and even some like random ones that didn't have names that were like cheap knockoff ones. Yeah. And I would literally, as a kid, I remember when they started introducing the belts with the figures, and I would literally I had an A4 binder with, is it Stone Cold Steve Austin binder, and I would write down like the date, and I'd put like WWE Raw, and I'd like make my own stupid pay-per-view and write down who won and who's the champions are, and I would literally follow this week upon week. Like I would have my own little show in my head. It's
Amazing.
so weird. But you
It's
look back
funny
and
what
go,
you
I want
say.
to do that again now.
What you say about knockoffs though, because as a kid, and again, I don't know whether it's where I grew up or whether it was like just a thing of the kind of 80s, 90s, but the knockoff figures didn't phase me. Like they
No.
really didn't phase me. And I would have my, for argument's sake, like my Spider-Man and my Batman or whatever. And then I would have these kind of knockoff figures or these like market figures, and they would be just as important in the game and in the play and all that kind of stuff. And I never really looked at them as the only figure I ever looked at as a knockoff was the Donatello I had.
Mm.
And I think I've told this story before, but we queued at Toys R Us the year of the Turtles. So this must have been like, I don't know, late 80s. And it was the year of the Turtles, and everywhere, everyone wanted the Turtles. And I remember queuing and queuing and queuing. And we got the sewer play set, we got the Turtles, we got the bus, like I got everything. But the only thing I couldn't get was a Donatello. Like that was the only one I couldn't get hold of. And I was really fortunate. I had like the 3 other Turtles. I had the play set, like I said. A few other people kind of put in, like, I'll get him the rat, get him the purple guy with the metal head and all that kind of stuff, like Shredder. And I couldn't get Donatello. And then I think it was my nan got me a Donatello, and I was so excited. And I'd kind of overheard that they got a Donatello. And I got there and I opened it up, and it was a knockoff one from the market. And the green was different, and the paint was different, and it's just the arm fell off. Like the mold was exactly the same. It was like essentially like that He-Man kind of esque mold, you know, with a 5 or 6 points of articulation. So it, you know, for all intents and purposes, it worked, but it wasn't the same.
Mm.
And I wasn't like kind of ungrateful, but it just didn't fit.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's funny, isn't it, as a kid, how you can look past certain things, but then other things kind of really tick a box.
Yeah, I had a extra Stone Cold Steve Austin figure, and I wanted the leather jacket of it for my other Stone Cold. So I like took this leather jacket off it, put it on the other Stone Cold, and then I just had this random half naked Steve, and I was like, what am I gonna do with this figure? And I remember taking Kurt Angle's wrestling singlet, putting that on the Stone Cold figure.
Wow.
And I refer to him as Mr. America from there on out. And I just made up this random wrestling character that were just my own little adventures as a kid. I called him Mr. America.
Nice. Why not? Got to give a quick shout out in the chat. Bethany Beth is there. Merry Christmas, everyone. Bethany Beth, one of our long-time viewers. Merry Christmas to you too. Merry Christmas to you too.
Yeah, she's excited for the new Fright Night Ken Hasbro Ghostbusters figures. I'm excited for them too to come back. They are cool.
You know what? That is a really good segue into another kind of childhood memory, because Ghostbusters for me was a big one as a kid. Like it really was. Like the firehouse was just, it was just an ultimate playset. It really was, wasn't it? It was really hard to beat the firehouse. Like I think even looking back now, I think potentially the only place that I would put higher than the firehouse is the Castle Grayskull for me. But that slime element where the slime went through all of the different floors, and the pole, even though it was like a big platform that they stood on, you had to plug them in and stuff. But the Fright Night figures were ones that I vividly remember. Like they kind of slowly replaced my actual Ghostbuster figures, if that makes sense. Like they were the ones I played with because there was that animation to them that they did things. So to see those coming back and pretty much exactly as they were is very exciting. Very exciting indeed.
Definitely cool. I remember monks like I've said this before. I was very fortunate that I was born that little bit after you by the sounds of things, because like I remember when my parents were when I was growing up, my parents bought all of the like Ghostbusters, He-Man, all that stuff for me came from the car boot sales. So like, and back in the 90s, this is before eBay. We're talking. This is like early 90s, very much before eBay. Nobody knew what these things were worth. Nobody cared. So it was a case of the kid would like have grown up or moved on, and like they were selling like the entire Ghostbusters collection. They had like the you know the backpack, the gun, the trap. Then they'd have the car and the firehouse and some figures, and my dad would just go up to him and just offer him something for the lot and take it, and then give me that. Like that was like the thing that he would put away for me or something for like birthdays and Christmas. But I remember having like Castle Grayskull, the little vehicle from Bucky O'Hare and things like that, and they all came from Car Boots.
Yeah,
all of them. It wasn't until like Batman toys and Power Rangers that were I got things that were new then. A lot of my stuff, I grew up with the toys of early 80s as a 90s kid because I would get them all from the Car Boot. Like I would love going down there on a Sunday. My dad would give me like 2 or 3 quid, which was a lot back then. And I would literally be able to buy so much. And then I'd come home and my mum would be like give me a big bowl of washing up liquid outside and like go wash them dirty toys. And I would literally spend the next like 2 hours like looking over these figures that I've just picked up. And I would love doing that like every Sunday.
It's a shame that's kind of that has gone on. We were talking to Steve, weren't we, about cards and stuff last week. For anyone who didn't catch the show, we had Steve Evans from Hasbro on last week. And we were talking about the nostalgic kind of hunts and picking things up for near to nothing and stuff. But car boots was a huge thing for a lot of collectors now. That's where the collection kind of started, because like you say, you would go to a car boot sale or something and you would be able to pick up 4 or 5 figures for a couple of quid with change to spare. I think that's where all my He-Man figures ended up going, to be fair. I think that they all ended up just to get thrown in a box and just 50p each like on the front, and that was it, and they were gone. So they're probably stood in someone's collection now. Like
I remember days to pick up an action figure at a car boot sale for like 20-30p. Just didn't know the value in them. They just wanted a bit of change back for them.
Yeah, it seems to be the more you had, the cheaper they went.
Yeah, and it'd be like, because they knew it was going to another kid, they'd be happy with that because it was a kid buying them. They'd be like, oh yeah, 50p, mate. And you'd walk away with like bundles of toys in your hands.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Going back to the comments, Shelley said that she had Castle Grayskull as a kid. For some reason, I didn't collect Ghostbusters back then. You're missing out. You are missing out. I am actually looking at getting another Castle Grayskull for my He-Man setup now, as like a diorama piece, because you can pick them up quite cheap. They're not expensive to pick up. Like they're 20 quid, 30 quid. Obviously one that's all complete and working, all the stickers are in place and everything, are a little bit more pricey, but just to pick up the shell of what it is, you can pick them up for peanuts. So yeah, I'm debating it. I'm having a look out, see if anyone wants to trade one. So
I thought about getting any of the new ones, like the because I know they like recreated the Eternia playset, didn't they? Is that like crowdfunded or something? I think.
Yeah, it
they've
was.
like tried to create all them kind of things, haven't they?
Yeah, I am. But even the newer Castle Grayskull, you can buy new in box with like a sorcerer figure for like 50 quid. Like it's not an expensive thing to pick up. But for me, like when I went back and revisited it all, it was the hunt of it, because I knew who had what, and it was a case of going on eBay and looking at job lots and almost like that car boot sale mentality of kind of like, okay, you've got a box of figures, I'll take that for 20 quid or whatever it was. And then I was picking things up and kind of going, right, well, that's Faker's vest, and I'll put that to the side, and that's like that one goes with He-Man, and that's Man of Arms Club and all that kind of stuff. So it was good fun, and I had it all, and then I got rid of it all again. It didn't last long in my collection.
I remember when I went to America for the first time as a kid, and my mum and my auntie took me to Walmart and just let me loose in a toy section. That was eye-opening. It's like their Walmart's obviously like our Toys R Us. The amount of stuff on their toy aisles is insane.
Yeah. I did that with my kids when we went over there. My wife was like, don't buy too much. I was like, there is no such word as too much. Like, kid, knock yourself in that. I'm the worst when it comes to taking my kids to toy shops. My wife knows that I won't say no. It's kind of like, we will go somewhere for something, and it's like literally beforehand, don't buy anything. No, I won't. It's I had to get this, I had to get that. But yeah, but no, for my kids, taking them over there, it was a case of just go mad. Like it's because I don't think that Smith's has that same, especially at Christmas. Like it's our Christmas show, bring it back to Christmas. But Smith's doesn't seem to have the same buzz that Toys R Us did at Christmas.
Field.
Yeah. Like Toys R Us, when I was a kid, when I was like my kid's age, Toys R Us was like a ticketed event. Like, you know, you had to get up there early, you had to be in line on the hope that you were going to pick up the year's hottest kind of thing, whatever it was. And like I said, Turtles at the time when I was really little, and He-Man and Ghostbusters, and obviously later on Power Rangers and stuff like that. But we don't seem to have that now, and I don't know whether that is similar to what Steve was saying last week about the online purchasing versus the in-person purchasing, whether that's had a knock-on effect to it. But
one thing we didn't have back in the day was like item finder, store collections. We didn't have that thing of being able to do click and collect. We didn't know where things were. You just had to turn up to the store and hope they had it at opening, or you were running to a different store.
Yeah.
And nowadays you can go on somebody's website and see how many of each item they've got in stock. So, I mean, it's not like it used to be. That's the thing. That kind of died out along with the last few Star Wars releases when the last few films came out. That kind of died with Last Jedi, I think. So I remember being stood outside Toys R Us waiting for Last Jedi merch to drop and being stupidly excited when I found the Black Series Hera. And I remember being stupidly excited to have that in hand. And that's where I met Andy Smith from the groups. So that's when I found out that he was in my local area. He was like, calm down, SuperSorrell. You don't need to run.
You know what though? Lego Store still has it. The Lego Store still has that element of kind of of launch day and all that kind of stuff, where they have people queuing up. And I've never been along to a launch day, a launch event at Lego because
because it's a nightmare and it's hell on earth. Because I went recently when it was they were launching the new. They had the new minifigures out. They had the new all the Indiana Jones stuff dropped at that point. The anniversary of Jurassic Park dropped on the same day. And I think it was Aquaman stuff dropped on that day.
Wow.
And oh my God, the amount of people that were queuing up for hours to get in.
Yeah.
It got to the point where Meadowhall in Sheffield were turning people away and saying, can you come back in 90 minutes, please? Yeah. Because they couldn't allow people to queue up anymore. The queue had got that big.
Wow.
So, but I kind of like that. I kind of like that buzz. I like that feeling of, I like that feeling of I've turned up early, I'm in line, I'm ready to go. I like that. Like, I'm next in line. Let's go do it. I like that.
And it's just, and I don't know. I don't know whether toy shops aren't the same as what they were for people back in the day, or whether it's just that's kind of died off a little bit. I don't know. Just a very quick one. Just shout out to anyone watching on this Instagram. We're going out on Instagram tonight just as a test because it's a new feature that's been offered to us. So we were like, you know what, we'll give it a try. It limits us to an hour. So if it does just shut off on Instagram, the show's carrying on over on YouTube. Just saying, we're still here. Christmas films.
Yeah.
Let's talk Christmas movies.
I love me a good Christmas movie. I tried to watch that Merry Batman something, that new one that came out on Amazon.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Is it?
I'm not a fan.
Is Kevin McAllister in it?
No. Kevin McAllister?
Yeah, he's in like Home Alone. I read somewhere. Maybe I was dreaming. Sorrell's just turned his mic off. He's like, no, I'm done. Just like, don't come at me with that stupidity. Maybe I
thought for a minute you meant Kevin Conroy, you know, what do you call him, Conroy? They did the voice of Batman, and then then I realized you meant you genuinely meant Kevin McAllister.
Yeah.
So there's an element of that. So basically, Batman leaves Damian to go join the Justice League to take on a big threat at on Christmas Eve, and basically Damian's left with Alfred, and some villains try to steal Christmas and take over Wayne Manor. And Damien has to protect Wayne Manor, but he's wearing he's not got like an official bat suit. He's wearing like a cardboard cut out like Batman helmet with he's got his yellow belt that he's been given from his dad, but like everything else is like makeshift. It's a bit Home Alone-y.
Maybe that's where I read it. Maybe I misread the article then. That it's kind of,
it very much has a Home Alone element to it, and he sets like Home Alone-esque traps for them. It's very weird.
That's what it is then. So we I sat down with my eldest son and watched Gremlins for the first time with him. I introduced him to Gremlins. So he's old enough. He's more than old enough. And the thing is the older films aren't as scary as they were. Like they were like Gremlins. I thought was scary when I was a kid. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty freaked out by Gremlins. The bit where it jumps out the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Still have vivid memories of that. Did you know who voices Gizmo?
Nope.
Right, my mind was blown on this one. Right No, don't Google it. Have you
Oh,
ever
okay.
watched America's Got Talent?
America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be that guy, isn't it, from Police Academy?
No, it's the
Oh,
bald
okay.
guy, Howie, the judge.
Howie Mandel.
Yeah,
That's weird.
he's the voice of Gizmo. I was like, what?
I thought you were gonna say it with that guy from Police Academy that does the whole, like he does all the sound effects with his voice.
No,
I thought you were gonna say him because I can believe that, but Howie Mandel.
no. Google it now. But it's Howie Mandel. Yeah.
That's weird.
The guy from America's Got Talent, and I just couldn't get into the rest of the film like while I was sat there watching it. Because you know, on like Amazon, because I just bought it on Amazon because that was the easiest way for me to get it for us to watch. And you know, when you kind of pause it and it shows who's on screen and tells you their
The X-ray thing.
I paused it and it was like, and it popped up, and I was like, what? And then I'm on my phone googling. I'm like, wow, like how did I not know this?
You just
So,
wait
yeah,
for Gizmo to go. It's a yes for me.
Yeah, but that's it. That is it. But yeah, so we watched the first one, and we're going to sit down and watch the second one over Christmas at some point. But Gremlins to me is definitely a Christmas film. Is there any film, like I see Bethany Beth in the comments has already said Santa Claus the movie, defo Santa Claus the movie. Are there any films that for you they're a must-have over Christmas?
Polar Express.
Polar Express.
That is the film we watch every Christmas Eve. About when we're just settling down for the evening, the sun's starting to set, it's getting dark, and we leave the lights off, get the popcorn, and sit as a family and sit and watch it. And that's always like I always get kind of that it's Christmas then. It's like when I'm watching that film, I know literally the presents are coming soon, and it's Christmas now officially. Yeah, I always get feels for that one.
I like that. Shelley, I'm so glad you said it. Die Hard,
amazing movie.
Die Hard. And I had a friend recently saying, like, I don't get it. I don't get how that's a Christmas movie.
Set at Christmas.
It's set at Christmas. It's like, that's like, how is Home Alone a Christmas movie? Because it's set at Christmas. Like, you know, that's like one of the key elements of a Christmas film is it has to be set at Christmas. Like, that's it.
And the fact that there's a scene where they do the whole "now I have a machine gun."
Yeah, he says the whole ho 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 bit. But yeah, no, for me, Elf is one that's always on in our house just because of the age of the kids. Elf always goes on. Bethany Beth has said Christmas Carol 1951.
Wow, that's a good one.
Jingle All the Way is another one.
Yeah,
absolutely love Jingle All the Way. Oh, there we go. Freddie Fazbar in the chat has said Jingle All the Way was funny. There we go. Said that at the same time. But yeah, Jingle All the Way is one for me. But I think that we're overdue a good new Christmas film.
We've had a few this year and over the last couple of years, but I've just not got around to watching them yet. Like
No.
I know we've had Spirited, and I've not seen that yet, and that's meant to be good. That's
No.
kind of a Christmas Carol film, isn't it? I believe.
I think the one that's come closest to becoming like a solidified Christmas classic was probably what's it called? And they did the sequel with what is it called? Why have I completely blanked? With the two kids and Father Christmas, and he does the whole Elvis thing, and it's I've completely forgotten his name.
Elvis thing.
Yeah, what's
Oh,
Christmas
you mean
Chronicles.
Christmas Chronicles? You're thinking, yeah.
So Christmas Chronicles, I think, is one that came close to becoming like solidified as a classic. Do you know what I mean?
And the fact that he sings the song in it as well, doesn't he? Santa Claus is coming to town and all that. It's he does a cool version of that song.
Yeah. But no, I just think like I remember when Elf came out, and it just kind of became like this instant Christmas classic. Do you know what I mean? Like, we haven't had one of those for a long time where it's like, yeah, it comes out and people are like, yeah, this is going to be played every year for however many years.
See, my wife always loves Christmas with the Cranks. I like it, but it's not my favorite. But Lynn loves that one.
Yeah.
But my go-to one that I usually end up watching on my own because nobody will watch it with me because it is so dated now, is I'll Be Home for Christmas. You know, on the Disney one.
Mhm.
And you know about the kid who's trying to get home for Christmas, and he's got like no money. He's just like hitchhiking and walking across the country because it's
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas who was the voice of Simba as a kid. He was the voice of Simba, and it's Jessica Biel as like one of her first roles, I believe.
Oh wow.
So it's such a good little movie. And it's on Disney Plus. It's well worth watching this, but it is. I'll admit, it is so dated now. It's so 90s.
Yeah. I Home Alone though is one for us. Home Alone is always every year. Home Alone will be on at least once.
Yeah.
Most of the time when we're wrapping the presents, we'll watch something like Home Alone. I just love it. I just absolutely love it. And again, I think it's when you actually watch it as an adult, it's questionable. Let's put it that way. Like there's definitely questionable elements to it. But yeah, I absolutely love it. And I think the really cool thing is that with the kids as well, where they come of a certain age, new like films become kind of new go-tos. Like I said, like Home Alone for our youngest son, he kind of got into it this year and was kind of like following along. My eldest son, it was Gremlins. But yeah, what other horror films have we got? What Christmas horror films have we got?
So we got Krampus, obviously. Krampus is the big one.
Yeah.
Made by Michael Dougherty, who made Sam. So Krampus is definitely up there for me. But then you've got loads of old school ones. So like Black Christmas is a big one.
Yeah.
Then you've got there's loads of ones like Christmas Slaughter, and there's like some really old 80s ones that are quite big and popular. But I like horror. I love horror to bits, but I'm not a big fan of Christmas horror other than Krampus. Even though Krampus is horror, I like the meaning behind it. So it kind of fits in with Christmas for me. It's a Christmas movie. I wouldn't consider it overly scary. So, but like straight up horror fest at Christmas, I'm not really into. I don't think of horror at Christmas.
No.
I'm wanting like light-hearted stuff.
No, the reason I ask is because I always classed Gremlins as a horror-esque film because it was
introductory to horror, so like Goosebumps and
yeah. And as a kid, it did scare me. Like there were elements of it that 100% scared me, and that was kind of my thought process when me and my son were watching it. Because I was like, this is kind of a new element of Christmas that I'm kind of talking to him about. But then the sequel is obviously very. It's not as the sequel isn't a Christmas film as such, but it's much more kind of comical, isn't it?
Yeah, Shelley's out, as I said, Violent Night. Have you seen that movie yet?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, Violent Night is so
fun.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Is that the one with what's his name from Stranger Things?
Yes, he's playing like an old school Santa who's like they kind of show you like flashbacks of him as a Viking. And like from like they show his Nordic past where he has like the hammer and he just butchers people. Nice. So it's imagine Home Alone crossed with Die Hard, and you get this film. It's basically Santa Claus trying to save a family who's been taken hostage at Christmas.
Wow!
And it's John Leguizamo's in it is the main villain.
Amazing. My one of my favorite Christmas films though is Bad Santa.
Oh yes.
I love Bad Santa. There's just something very
wrong about it. Very wrong.
It's so bad. Like it's so awful. But yeah, that's another one that we kind of tend to put on. But yeah, we don't tend to kind of all sit down as a family and watch like a big Christmas film or anything like that. That's not one of our kind of traditions. Just because everyone has completely different tastes. So we tend to just kind of watch a whole bunch of them at different times in different rooms with different kind of groups and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
my wife always argues with me because this is questionable, right? I will warn you, this is sacrilege to some people. I do prefer the Santa Claus 2 to the first film. I love the sequel. I think I don't know what it is. I prefer the sequel to the first film.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think the first film is it's cute. It's fun, but it's a bit too, look at all this, it's sparkly, glowy. Everything's too magical for words. And I don't know, it just grates on me after a little while. Whereas I like the second one. I don't know why, I just like the story of him having to find a wife before Christmas and stuff. I like that one.
Yeah. Another one as well, another kind of kids film as such is it Rise of the Guardians with all the different.
Yeah, that's cool.
That one's cool because that is a very cool Santa in that one.
That again is based on books. It's based on a series of books. Is that? And they never continued them. They never continued the films. They made the first one and then they just kind of didn't bother.
But then that leads me on to another one, Jack Frost. What's his name? Jack Frost film. Like that's sad.
Yeah, with what's he called? Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton. Where he gets turned into the snowman. Like that's sad. That is sad. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really feel like Christmas at the minute. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably because I'm like only just started the rapping and stuff, but it just doesn't feel as Christmassy as
once we finish here this evening, you've got to do some rapping and stick on Miracle on 34th Street. That'll change your mind.
Go and put my elf costume on.
Miracle on 34th Street is the first one I watch on the 1st of December every year without fail because at the beginning it's Thanksgiving. It's a Thanksgiving parade with Macy's.
Yeah.
So I treat that as this is the start of holiday season, and we stick on Miracle on 34th Street on like December 1st or 2nd. It's like kickstart everything.
John Hood, here we go. Edward Scissorhands is a good festive film. That's a good one, actually. I wouldn't have classed that as Christmas, but
it's like Batman Returns, isn't it? Batman Returns is technically a Christmas film.
Yeah. Shelley in the comments saying Trading Places is a good one. Bethany in the comments, watch The Snowman 2. I'm guessing to put me in the Christmas mood.
What's that one? Oh, I'm gonna have to Google it. Steve Martin Christmas movie, Mixed Nuts. Have you ever seen Mixed Nuts?
No.
Mixed Nuts is a great movie. So basically, it's there's like Adam Sandler's in it and Steve Martin, a bunch. You'll recognize like half the cast in it. And basically, he runs a hotline for like people that are a bit suicidal, a bit nuts.
Oh,
and it's set on Christmas, and it's dark comedy, but it's got funny elements and serious elements. But it's a damn good movie, and it's got Adam Sandler in it. It's got him who played Sabretooth, Liv Schreiber.
Yeah, I
never say his name. You'll recognize like half of the cast in it, like Jon Stewart's in there, and it's just a good all round film. It's a great Christmas movie.
Nice. So moving on from Christmas, Boxing Day. You said sometimes you go out Boxing Day because I used to love Boxing Day. I used to absolutely love it because Boxing Day sales, all that kind of stuff, like the stuff that you wanted, you'd go out to the shops, you'd get them in the Boxing Day sales. Like it was a big thing as a kid that I remember.
When I was like 14, sorry, so when I was like 14, 15, my cousin who was older than me, he would have been I was about 14, 15, he would have been about 16, 17. And he would like say to me every year, shall I get the bus down to your house? And we'd go up Pontefract where I live. We'd go into the town centre, and we'd like go shopping and like do all the sales like Woolworths and stuff like that. Yeah, Argos, and it's so funny looking back now. Like we'd go uptown together, and like that would be our little day out, like over Christmas together with me and my cousin, and we'd just go shopping.
But I used to love it. Like you'd get your Christmas money, you'd get your money from your nan or from your aunt or whatever, and you'd have like 20, 30 quid or whatever. Like if you put it all together, and then you'd jump out for the Christmas, like the Boxing Day sales. And oh no, don't buy that now. Get it in the Boxing Day sale. Get it in the Boxing Day sale. Like but they don't. That's just not a thing anymore. Like it's just not a thing. And I think that they're the little things about Christmas that I miss, from being a kid. But it felt very Christmassy. It felt like much more of a time as opposed to just a date. Makes sense? Like, and you would get something for Christmas. Like you would get a figure or a play set or something, and sometimes something that you didn't even know existed. Like I remember one year, I think it was my nan again. My nan got me like this Star Wars. I don't even know how you would explain it. It wasn't quite a model kit because everything was already made, but you had to paint it all. But it was made of plastic, and it was, I can't even remember where it was, but it was some kind of base, some kind of base, and it had little ships and it had the characters and all that kind of stuff. But then on the box, it showed the other sets that you could get with it as well.
Yeah. And
I just remember opening it and thinking like, this is the best thing ever. This is incredible. I'm going to go out and see if I can get any more of them. And I never saw any of them anywhere. Like, it was one of them presents. It was just kind of like, it obviously fallen off a lorry somewhere and it never to be seen again. But going out on Boxing Day on that kind of hunt, on that kind of, that extension of your presents that we just don't have anymore. Just doesn't exist anymore. Doesn't exist.
We're getting old, mate. That's the sad part. We're getting old.
No, but I mean, even for the kids, like, do you know what I mean? Like, they don't have that anymore. Like, they don't have that anymore. Like, it's
Kids don't play with toys that much anymore. That's the sad part. My daughter's already, she's 9 nearly now, like 8 going on 9, and she's growing out of dolls and stuff quite quickly. She's growing out. She wants V-Bucks for Fortnite and money for Xbox now.
yeah. See, I just ignore my kids in respect of like, Dad, can you get me like this and this? An action figure and a play? Yes, I can. That's did you say you wanted the special edition? Yeah, no, no, I joke. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. The Boxing Day sales, like, I do miss it. I do miss that because it was always like 9 out of 10 times, like, most people would be off work, everyone would be out of town, looking in different shops. You have to pick where you were going to go. Do you know what I mean? Like, you'd have to kind of go, right, well, I really want, for the sake of continuing my story earlier, you know, I need this part of the Ninja Turtle setup, or I need this part of the Ghostbuster setup. So this is how much I've got for my Christmas money. I know that I could get a figure, or I could get half a car, or whatever it is, and I need to go to Woolworths because Woolworths is the place to sell it. So you'd get up to town, and you would get straight to Woolworths to make sure that you could sort of secure that figure or that playset or something. And you just don't have that anymore, like you say, because you can just go online, like literally on Christmas Day, like, oh yeah, they haven't got any in town, so what's the point? I'm not going out.
I think as well, because with the rise of Black Friday, I think that's taken away from Boxing Day, because we used in the UK it was always Boxing Day sales and the New Year sales, and like DFS have been doing a New Year sale since I was 7. But I mean,
I think DFS is always on sale anyway. Part of their marketing strategy.
But we would, I mean, like say, as a kid, you would kind of go out on those days. But I think as times have moved on, I think the Black Friday thing's taken that away from it, because people now market everything for Black Friday, Christmas, rather than after Christmas. Yeah, everyone knows January is like dry January now. Even people call it dry January, where you don't drink, you don't do anything fun, you've got no money. It's blue January. Everyone's gonna keel over. So it's a horrible month now. There's none of that sales stuff anymore. None of that good stuff to look forward to, which is sad.
That's another one as well. Shelley talking about that annuals, like going out and picking up annuals, like. Yeah, that was like, annuals are just like we used to get our kids annuals, like even up until like a couple of years ago, like we'd still get an annual just to kind of like as a filler present. Do you know what I mean? Like whatever.
I'd always get an annual.
But the selection is a lot more limited now than it used to be. Like there was an annual for everything back in the day. Like literally everything would have an annual. Even like magazines, like Smash Hits and stuff like that, would have like an annual. Like you've literally been producing magazines all year, and you're going to do an annual at the end of the year, but they just don't do them. Annuals need to come back. 2024, we need to see new annuals.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
100%.
Watch this space. Let's bring the annual back. But yeah. I think we're still over on Instagram. I'm not 100% sure. It was supposed to walk out after an hour, but I think it's still going. I'm looking at the comments. It doesn't seem to be working as smoothly as our usual streams. But if you have tuned in on Instagram, thank you very much. Like it's just a bit of an experiment this week, see if it works or not. So what are you most looking forward to? Is there anything particular on your list that you really hope you can get?
I don't know. I haven't got a list this year. This was the first year where I was kind of like, I don't really have a list. And Lynn was kind of like just grabbing me things that she thought I would like that were from like Nightmare Before Christmas for the 30th anniversary stuff. So I've kind of like over the months I've kind of gone, I kind of like this, and then she's gone, well, don't buy that thing. So I think I know a few things in there. Yeah. But we keep having this joke between ourselves of who's going to win Christmas, because we always try and one up each other. And I know that I've got she's not watching this, so it don't matter. I've got predominantly all Harry Potter stuff. So I know that she's gonna have like all Ravenclaw crap to open on Christmas Day.
On Instagram, it just said Lynn has just joined.
But yeah, so I was kind of like, I've got her all that kind of stuff, and I've got some really I got some nice high end sort of like collectibles for Harry Potter as well.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like that. Like I was firmly like, I've won Christmas. I've won this year. This is awesome. You can't beat these. And then Lynn's just been smiling at me all week going, yeah, but something's coming from America for you. And I'm like, what is that thing now? I want to know what that is now. She's like, something's coming from America for you. I'm like, what have you bought me from the parks? It's clearly from the parks because that's all she buys from America. So it's coming either from Double Box Toys or from the merch queens that we use. The private
Nightmare Before Christmas box set.
I don't know. I really don't know. But if it is something really something like that, then she's probably won Christmas this year. Right. But yeah, stay tuned to see what it is because I will be doing my usual. Because everyone does always ask me. I will be doing my usual video where we open our presents live on camera. Me, Miss SuperSorrell, and SuperSorrell Junior. I like doing that video every year. We do it. We've done it ever since I started the channel, where we kind of invite people in to spend Christmas morning with us. It's one of the most. It's always one of the most popular videos on my channel. Like every year, people love that one. I love making it.
Oh, wicked! Well, there we go. It'll be live on Sorrell's channel. Christmas Day.
About 7 a.m. because I'm a giant child. I wake up at 4 to open my presents.
I'm really excited for this year. My youngest son we got him a load of Hot Wheels stuff.
Nice.
And Hot Wheels was not something I had as a kid. No, I had bits here and there, but never to like a large extent. And so yeah, I was like, I'll sort the Hot Wheels out. Like, leave it with me. And these boxes started arriving. They're like, right, there is too much. My wife's like, you can't buy too much Hot Wheels. Like, and my mother-in-law said, like, are you buying this for you or for him? And I was like, I've got adult money now. Like, what?
I remember when the all the Mario Kart stuff started coming out, and you could buy Rainbow Road and all the things. And I was like, I want that. And Lynn's like, is it for you or for Paige? I'm like, it's definitely for Paige, but I'm going to play with it.
Yeah.
And then I found there was a guy on TikTok who makes these ridiculous tracks and then sets like 4 or 5 cars going and does like proper little like Grand Prix with them. And then the winner goes through to the next round. And he does this for like days on end. And I find myself watching them over and over. Like, this is awesome. Yeah. Little toy cars going down a track. I'm watching
that's kind of where my son's kind of newfound like enjoyment of Hot Wheels came from. It was like, but yeah, that's pretty much where it was. And so I started buying all this stuff, but then the ultimate like payoff came because we went for this lunch with Santa yesterday, and Santa came round and he asked my youngest, is like, what it is? It's Miles that does the videos with me, and he said, what is it that you want me to bring? And he went, some Hot Wheels stuff. I was like, yeah, told you. I looked at my mother-in-law like that.
Have you seen the new Disney Hot Wheels stuff? And like they've got like Marvel, Star Wars all roped into it as well.
No, I've not dived that deep yet, but it is coming. Like, this is
so like you can get like
when we set the track up and it goes all the way around our house and down the stairs and everything like that. I'll be then going, right, what can we buy?
Because I saw this ranging because you can get them in B&M, and at first I was like, this range sounds silly because it doesn't make sense. But then they released like Vanellope, and she's in the little car from the movie, and then they've got like Timon and Pumbaa in the Hakuna Matata like wagon, and Steamboat Mickey in the little ship with wheels on it. Jiminy Cricket's in like his hat with wheels on it. And it looked like something out of like a video game like a very bad video game from the 90s. They all look like those kind of like kart games that you used to play as a kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is amazing. And then they've got like Baby Yoda, and he's got his wheels on his little pram thing. You can really get cool. Baby Groot has got like a toy. And I was like looking at these things in like B&M going, I'm going to be bankrupt in a minute because I want them all. Captain Hook's pirate ship. I'm like, these are ace. And they're releasing tracks and everything for it. And I was like, that's kind of a range that I would love to get into, but I don't have the money or the patience for it.
The one thing I did find with it though was that there are certain there are different kind of tiers. So there's like the city stuff, and then there's the track builder stuff, and then there's like other bits and pieces and that. And I was like, well, I want that from the city, but that doesn't work with the track builder, and I want to be able to build a track all around the house. Like that's what I want to do. But then I found people on Etsy that like 3D print like suspension bridge pieces and everything. I'm like, this is getting insane. Like this is gonna get messy. There's no two ways about it.
I have to say, for everyone that's watching, because a couple of people have commented about the whole annuals thing and that they were a staple. If you would honestly like me and Jacob to maybe look at creating a Geek Week in Review annual, let us know in the comments if that's something that you would potentially pick up from us. If that's something you would like us to potentially look into doing this year, let us know in the comments. Just putting the feelers out there.
Let's just say that there might have been a conversation had, and
Hence the laugh when we said.
Maybe.
Hence the inside little joke laugh that we had.
Yeah. It was a conversation has been had, and we both went, "We're listening. We're listening." So yeah, there's potential, but yeah, let us know in the comments. It'd be fun to do, definitely be fun to do, but it's not worth our it's not worth us to be invested in it as much as it would require if it's not something that people would be interested in. But
the thing is, I realized as well, the best part is we could even do it as an ebook and have it as digital rather than printed. We could actually have it done over like on Amazon, self-publishing.
Yeah, and
it'd be so easy to do for us. So I mean, guys, if you're interested, let us know in the comments if that's something that you'd be interested in, like me and Jacob putting something together. Like we can review annual book of some description.
Yeah,
let us know.
It's put it this way.
It's on the radar.
Put it this way. The conversation came our way. We both kind of went, okay, and now we're putting it to you. So if it is something, then we will go back and click yes. But yeah, all good. No, I'm excited for Christmas. You're excited for Christmas?
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to, like, tomorrow is Christmas Eve. I'm going out, I'm seeing Santa. So I know tomorrow, as soon as this is over, I'm going to bed and I'm resting up for tomorrow. It's going to be a mammoth day. And I'm just looking forward to it.
Shelley,
as long as it's a pick of
that's only in the special edition. That's
in Jacob After Dark.
That's in the very limited run of one issue that I'll sign. But there we go. I'm gonna have to cosplay it now one day. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited for Christmas. It's like probably the same for you. Like, you know, when there's kids around, it's a whole different kettle of fish. It's a whole different game. I'm really excited for everything that's coming.
I just like looking forward to that. Like, my favorite thing is having dinner with the family and stuff. Like, I'm very fortunate. Lynn's parents are from Malaysia. They don't celebrate Christmas. So I've always been very lucky that we've always had my parents over and we've never really had to, like, juggle between the two families.
Yeah.
So we've always been very lucky in that respect. So it's always, my parents will rock up at about 9 o'clock in the morning and they'll stay for the day. They'll help us do Christmas dinner and stuff. And it's always just a really nice family affair for the couple of days, and they'll sleep over here. And it's just nice to have like, Paige gets a grandma around for a few days, and it's nice. I like it.
Yeah, that's lovely. We're the same. We're lucky, not because my wife's parents are from Malaysia, but just because we don't have to juggle between houses either. So it's like my wife's parents are there, like, pretty much from Christmas Eve. Like, they only live around the corner, so they'll be here all day, and we just have a nice. Her brother comes down with his little one, and it's just a nice kind of family time. Do you know what I mean? Where all the kids just kind of enjoy it, and I like that. I don't know how people manage to kind of jump between places. I was talking to one of my friends, and I said to her, I was like, it was mine and my wife's friend. I was like, how you set for Christmas? And she's like, well, I've got this one this time, and then by 10 o'clock we've then got to go over to this one, and then we're going over to my boyfriend's house at this time. And I was like, wow, like that's some like hardcore planning. Like, whereas we will just wake up, I'll probably stay in my pajamas most of the day.
Yeah,
all good. Building Hot Wheels.
I'm not going anywhere Christmas Day. That car is not getting turned on once. Yeah. I know.
No.
I'll probably be liquored up on alcohol by about midday. So nope, I'm driving nowhere.
See, as I don't really drink, like, it's just alcohol for me and Christmas has never been. It's never gone together. Like, I don't. It doesn't compute when people are, oh, we need to get the so and so. We need to get this drink. Or we need to get that drink. I'm like, oh, give me a coffee. Speaking of which, for anyone that's still in the chat, there's still a few of you there. Pumpkin spice latte, right? I've told everyone this story because I thought it was amazing. But in Asda, they've got like the tins of pumpkin spice latte that are like pre-made. So you put 2 or 3 spoons in the cup, add hot water, and it gives you a pumpkin spice latte. And they're usually about £4 a tin, and they're 50p.
Wow.
So I literally bought like a dozen. So I was like, I'm drinking pumpkin spice latte through to like beginning of February. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is that pumpkin spice latte is not leaving me. So yeah, but get to Asda, get those. But they weren't marked up on the shelf as 50p. So I've noticed in Asda, this is another little kind of like hack that I've learned. You know, little scanner things that you go around with, and you kind of do,
Yeah.
like they tell you the price of things, don't they? And
Yeah.
you can remove them. But there are certain things, especially when it comes to like festive or seasonal stuff, that they won't change the sticker on the shelf. But when you scan them, it tells you the price it's going to go through the chiller. So like these lattes, for example, like they were marked up at 350 still, and I scanned it and it went through at 50p. So I was like, well, keep taking those. Thank you very much. But yeah, little hack for you. It's good for it's good for when they do the toy clearances as well, because they do some really good Lego toy clearances, and they're not marked up on the shelf. So there you go.
My wife was ridiculously. This is how middle age we're getting. She got stupidly excited because all the vegetables were 15p.
Oh, I know. I saw that. A lot of
stocked up on like carrots and things like that. I'm pretty sure we've got carrots now till at least mid-January.
A lot of them did that. A lot of them like reduced it all like down like a lot.
With that, we're in a cost of living crisis. I think that's a great thing that they've done that. To be fair, because it means more families can have a bigger, nice family meal over Christmas. A great way of doing it.
I completely agree. I do think we're off Instagram now. I just I don't know. I don't know how it works. I really don't know how it works. I'm trying to figure it out. But it's a bizarre new option that we've been given to go on to Instagram. So we'll try it out. We'll try it out for a few weeks and see how it works.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to his next show? Because his next show we're going to be post Christmas. We'll be able to show off what we've.
No, we are still live on Instagram. Sorry, we are still there. So much for the hour drop off.
But yeah, we'll be able to show off what we got for Christmas, and then go through our top 10, top 5, whatever movies, figures of the year and stuff. Because there's been some cool movies this year and some great figures this year. So, I was doing my top 10 for my channel, and I was struggling, man. I was struggling to just narrow it down. Like when we did the Hasbro one, that was hard enough. Just trying to get 10 Hasbro figures. When I had my entire shelf like over the last year to whittle through. And I'm like, because I kept leaving things off. Like I'm like, oh, but then there was the Monster High crossover dolls, and I'm like, oh, but then I got the Haunted Mansion figure. Oh, but then I got this, and I just kept reevaluating this list like for about an hour.
I think I'm going to do my top 10 in January. I think I'm going to do it retrospectively and do my top 10 of 23 in that first month of 24.
Look at you, different to everyone else.
Yeah, well, I just think that. The reason being is that I am struggling. I'm struggling because I moved. 23 was the year I moved into Hot Toys, so I could easily just pick 10 of my favorite Hot Toys. But then I haven't picked up all of the Hot Toys out there, so it's a bit of a random way of doing it. So I think I'm going to do like my personal pickups of 23 that I liked, and it's going to take me more time. I have got one very cool video coming though. I did that second a day. Have you seen those apps where you can like record 1 second a day?
All right, okay.
So it's an app and it gives you the ability to record up to 3 seconds every single day, and it logs it, and then it puts it all into a big video at the end. And obviously I did all the family ones and that kind of stuff, but then I did one for like my collections. So when things arrived, or when I was reviewing things, or customizing things, or photographing things, and I've literally got like a snippet of every single day of what I've done as a collector. So like a week and then it's done. So that will be my big kind of 2023 in review kind of video, I think. But no, I'm looking forward to next week's show. Next week's show is going to be fun. Like you say, it's like a big end of year one, isn't it?
Yeah, man. And I mean, like I say, this year both of our collections changed massively in our habits of collecting, and it was we rejuvenated it a little bit, because obviously we've been in the collection game for a long time now. So it was kind of cool to kind of refresh it, and I'm kind of happy about it. I'm like really happy where I am now.
Oh yeah, me too.
It feels really weird to say, but it feels like a weight lifted almost. Feels like a fresh start. It's weird. It's a weird thing to say out loud, but that's what I honestly get those feelings when I said to myself, right, these are the figures I'm keeping. They're all going into storage. These ones are the ones I'm selling. And then I kind of felt cleansed. Like I feel good again. This is like a fresh start piece.
Yeah, I did do a massive Marvel Legends clear out, from about September to kind of November. I did do a massive clear out, and I've still got a load more to go. Like there's a lot that I haven't even touched yet. But yeah, I lifted is a good word. I think that's quite a good word.
Yeah, people have been saying on my channel a couple of times, like people said, like, am I done with Star Wars? And I'm like, no, I'm not done with Star Wars. I'm kind of what the way I've been explaining it recently is I'm done with Hasbro. And I know we kind of work with them, but I realized it was Hasbro fatigue. Because when I sat and thought about it, I was collecting Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Marvel, Power Rangers, like Dungeons and Dragons. Everything fell under that one umbrella, and all their prices were going up. Their release schedule was getting wild, and it was just impossible to stay on top of. Fortnite as well. I got all the Fortnite ones, so I was like, it was just impossible to stay up to date with. Yeah. So now I'm kind of like, I like pick and choose what I want from Hasbro, but then I've jumped onto the likes of your Trick or Treat Studios and a lot of these third-party studios, like independent stuff. Yeah, I've kind of felt rejuvenated by it a little bit, and Star Wars definitely will be back because droids. I love droids, and I'm still going to be collecting. I'm just moving my habits from Hasbro to maybe Figure Arts or something. I don't know. Watch this space for 2024. There's going to be some awesome changes on my like that I'm planning and stuff, and a lot of people have been saying they're interested in the vlog content, and that's definitely coming back now that we're back to normal. And I'm kind of like I've kind of worked out, like I've moved house, I've got my new space. I'm going to start putting out the more vlog stuff like I used to do back in the day, because that's what got my channel popular in the first place. Yeah, so I'm going to go back to.
Yeah, no, it's a good. I mean, it's a busy year ahead for us individually and as the Geek Week as well. We've got lots going on. It's interesting what you say about the Hasbro fatigue as well, because for me it was like I've collected Legends pretty much as a completionist since near enough it started, but now I'm being selective. I'm really enjoying the ones that I'm getting a lot more than I did. So like Doc Ock figure, for example, from the MCU, I'm waiting on that. I know it's coming. I know people have got it in hand, but I'm genuinely excited about that turning up, because I haven't had a Legends figure turn up. Well, obviously I've got the Spider-Man ones, but it feels like a lot longer because I know there's 2 or 3 waves that have come out that I didn't pick up. But yeah, no, we're I think the thing I'm definitely looking forward to, we got March, we're doing the collectors panel and Geek Week live at Bolton. Did I say that right?
Yep, Bolton.
Yeah. Bolton. But if you pronounce it in how it might, Bolton, that's not it at all. But that's going to be fun, and that's only a few months away now. When you actually think about it, it's a few months.
Not long.
Like, you know.
And I'm proper excited because obviously they announced as a part of the panel as well. Lightning Collector is going to be joining us as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Lightning Collector 2021. He's been a follower of my channel for a long time, and his knowledge of Power Rangers is immense.
That's cool.
And he said that he's up for coming on the show in advance as well and chatting with us. So he'll be on the Geek Week very soon.
Yes, we're gonna try to grab a couple of them before the actual con and kind of get some conversations going on the live show. And then also we're going to do some stuff from when we're there as well. But it's going to be a good day. I'm really excited for it. Really excited for it. But that kind of brings us to the end of our kind of Christmas show. So there wasn't really a theme today. We were just talking Christmas, talking toys, talking movies, just because it's Christmas.
It's Christmas, and it felt like we still wanted to do a show, but weren't sure what kind of show to do. So yeah, it was just a bit more of a shooting the breeze kind of chat show, guys. Yeah, but I think the comments have been going pretty well. So yeah, I think people enjoyed it. Hopefully,
good. But yeah, next week we are going to do our New Year's show again. We are going out on a Saturday night instead of a Sunday night. That's not a regular change. It's literally just for these 2 shows because we didn't want to put a show out on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve because that's just not going to be very productive for us. So we decided to put it out a day early. But we have got we've got our New Year's. It's going to be our year in review, and yeah, we're already lining up the guests for 2024 and the events and everything. So it is a very exciting. I'm really excited for next week's show because it's kind of the pivotal moment moving into these things that we've kind of been putting in place and building up towards. So it's going to be good fun.
I saved that sound effect on TikTok today, ready to use as well. That and that's the end of our 2023 season. Good night. I saved that little clip like that. I'm using that. I'm like, I'm gonna get some fireworks going up into the air, and then that is it. I'm gonna put that video out.
Yeah, 100%. So that's it. Sorrell, do you want to say anything before we shut off?
No, just thank you very much for tuning in, guys, and the support you've given us over the last year. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a very happy New Year.
Yes. Likewise, hope you all enjoy the holiday season, whatever it is that you're enjoying and celebrating. Thank you very much for everything this year. We will hopefully see you all next week for the end of year show. But that's it. Our 3rd annual Christmas show. That's it. It's done. So, for the last time before Christmas, keep it geek.
From everyone here at the Geek Week in Review, from our family to yours, happy holidays. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and of course subscribe. Tune in next week for another live show. Until then, keep it geek. Stay up to date at www.geekweekinreview.co.uk.